of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it.
I wonder if they will bring up chaos trades.
Just follow the money.
Oh, yes.
I gotta barbecue your assy molasses.
Office politics.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Carrot.
Good stuff.
We need you. Hell, I need you. I'm a mess without you. I miss you so damn much. I miss being with you. I miss being near you. I miss your laugh. I miss your scent. I miss your musk. When this all gets sorted out, I think you and me should get an apartment together.
Hey, everybody. That's right. Welcome to the show tonight. Oh, yes. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna do our thing a little later than we normally do. Hopefully, we won't have any weird internet hang-ups, but you know me, I can't always count on that. No.
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it.
Yeah, but that's why I'm here.
I love lamb.
That's why I'm here. All right, everybody. Yes, we're here. Oh, how's it going, everybody? Are you having a good night? Happy Thursday. What's going on? Are you ready to party with me on this early Happy Father's Day edition? All right. I'm excited too. Don Lemon is killing it. I'm glad to hear it. He's the least talented person in the world. Still, he manages to get under Trump's skin. It's weird that if you were that tough, you'd actually not let it get to you. Or would it get to you? All right. Having too much fun. Why don't we just do this all night? Who needs Trump and his bullshit? Honestly, I don't know. All right, enough. Sorry. Too much? Too soon? Not enough? Hard to say. Hi. How are you? Oh yeah, the hair's getting long. Although it looks a little fluffier than it is because of the headband, the headphones that I wear kind of puff it out, you know? Sounds like a Bill Withers song. I'll take that as a compliment. I can live with that. I can be all right with that. Welcome. Glad you could be here, everybody. I'm very excited. It's gonna be an interesting show. Say the very, very, very least. I've been trying to stick to this regular timing thing, and make it, so that people have a, they can kind of count on the show being, as opposed to me just rather, like showing up whenever I show up and then expecting people to jump in there and kind of like I'm doing right now. But I want to, try to create a structure. In some ways, I don't always have to do it, but it's nice if it could be a regular thing and then everything else is an addendum, was what I was thinking. So, but I had to run off today because we have family FaceTime, and then Camden had ninja class, so we had to go to ninja class, and we went there, and it was a good time. Lots of tumbling and jumping and leaping and American Ninja Warrior-y type of stuff. And yeah, but it's good to have you guys here. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. This is a brand new episode, so it needs all the love of the earlier show, or the 3 shows, or whatever the other 3 cut pieces are. That was a tooth pull, I gotta say. And then it died on me right at the end. It was very sad. Love the quaff. Oh, thanks. It's very coffee right now. That said, I appreciate that, Joe. Find myself organizing the day's events around your live stream, so the schedule is great. I appreciate that, Christina F. I'm glad. You know, I feel like when we all go back to normal life, I don't know how this will interfere with other people's regular schedules, but the 3 o'clock range seems to work really well. Hey, Can't Stop Lying, how you doing? The 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock zone seems to work fairly well for news cycle-y stuff, you know? And so I will do that as best I can. Patreons assemble! Yeah, if you're a Patreon supporter in there, give a thumbs up or let Richard know. Because when he says that, you guys are supposed to salute. He's our captain. Captain, my captain. So yeah, I'm glad. No moving today, CSL. No, you didn't have to help anybody carry a piano up a flight of stairs while trying to cook a plate of lentils. Because if anybody can do it, it's you. But just want to make sure I'm not double exhausting you in one evening. Half typing promo for the show, you know, while juggling, unpacking china out of a box like some sort of IKEA magician. So, which again, if anybody can do it, it's you, brother. So there you go. So here we go. This is and hello Twitch. Hey, Mr. Choo Choo Train. I know it's late. Well, I know it's late. I know you're weary. I know your plans don't include me. Still here we are. Both of us ornery. That's not how it goes, but okay. All right. But when I found out there was going to be an episode of Triggered on Trump's own network, which I love this because you have to understand this show is on Trump's own YouTube page, where, you know, the campaign. So they do their own shows on there. And I guess they were really just scraping the bottom of the barrel of people to interview. That still, it gets increasingly hard over time to find people who like Trump, who aren't also insane. So, and they failed this time as well, in the case that they're interviewing Trump on his own channel. I mean, it's going to be gorgeous. I have not watched a stitch of it. I avoided looking at the clips online that were sneaking out. I want us all to go through this, just raw dog the whole thing. So, hey, cool. I'm excited about your brand new wireless headphones working. I hope I sound good in Dolby surround. Can we all flag Trump's YouTube channel? You absolutely can. I won't. Well, I'm not going to give anybody marching orders because I'll get in major trouble. But in the meantime, do what your ethics and morals tell you to do. I was watching My Hero Academia, but Hal's more important. Well, thank you. I don't even know what My Hero Academia is, but I need to find out, Richard. You need to tell me all about it. Okay, so let's jump into this so I don't have you guys up all night. And thank you, Andy. I'm glad you like my singing voice. That's just my messing around singing voice. You should hear the real thing. It's pretty solid. And I would show a little bit of it off, but it's a little late in the evening for me to be. I'm very loud. There we go. Oh, it's anime. I see. Well, thanks. Now I won't hurt my neck when I forget about the wire on the old headphones. Yeah, that's a big one. That's why if you'll notice, I am completely wireless. Thank you. All right. So that's a good time. Yeah, it is getting long in the back. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. And it'll be blurry when I move back because it's not autofocus. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah, I forget. You know, I could be just insomnia programming at this point. Hey, Tom. Hey, Ben. How are you? I got 3 sets today for $10. Oh, that's nice. Oh, thanks, Lowrider Sky. You guys, you're so sweet. Okay, let's do the show, and then everybody can go back to doing whatever the heck they were doing with their evening. I am not starting this one. Yeah, you saw a flash of Hannity. I have some Hannity as well. I thought that was a sit-down interview. Turns out it's just on the phone. So I don't know how much I need to even care about that one. It's got to be a person to person. But check out the the Trump campaign. Boy, they spent money on a plug-in for their graphics. We shall see what we shall see. And again, this is quality programming. Like, I have problems because I started my own, like, hey, the stream is starting stuff. The first minute of this was 44 seconds is just black screen. You can't kick it right in. You don't know. You can't edit your own. It's the president being interviewed on his own channel. You're going to have 44 seconds of dead air. Should we all sit through it? It's probably the best part of the programming. Seriously, look at this. Riveting. 44 seconds of this nonsense. All right, hold on. We'll no one needs this garbage. Okay, here we go. 41, 42, 43. Thank you, Rebecca. Look at that. Gold. I want gold lettering. Lava. It's hot. This speaks to me. Looks good. Team Trump online should look like. Try to find a plugin that creates graphics that really just reeks of new money wannabes. Use that. That's good. It's good. Something that looks like a failed chocolate company. Thank you, Rebecca. America. Yelling, this is me walking with my dad. Team Trump Online presents Dad and Me. Are we sure? I don't know. A Father's Day special. What's special about it? First Father's Day we've ever spent together. 'Cause Dad was always with hookers. All right. Uh-oh, did he get top billing? Ah, look at that. Burn your dad down to the ground. He gave himself top billing over President Dad. Look at this high quality production. We spent all this money on graphics so we can show you dude dangling in the dark and a bunch of mics and lights all set up. This was a real production. We want you to know your money is well spent. Right, Eric? I dressed the set. President Trump. Okay. Will there be lights and microphones? And will we see it? Because a lot of times I watch these interviews I do with Hannity, and I don't even know, like, where's the image coming from? It's like I can't watch a Hitchcock film. I'm like, where's the music? Where's the band? Good God, get over it. From the White House. America! The presidential edition. Oh my God. Dude, it's your own channel. Welcome to the House Sparks edition of Dad's Thursday. Because I'm a father, and you need to know it. Starring Camden Sparks and the guy who made him possible, whatever his name is. Welcome to the Dad edition of whatever the shit this show actually is. Maybe if we burn a lot of time, add more graphics, because we can't put what Dad actually said. Jesus Christ. Okay, first of all, are you my real dad? Spit in this tube.
So, I've been doing
the music as he said. Okay, so
podcast now for a few weeks, and I figured with Father's Day coming up,
okay, music still rolling. Who cut the music? Where's the fire graphics? Triggered fire graphics. The never-ending graphics are the best. I'm gonna create an opening for my show now based on this. This is the template. This is the standard. Okay, so I've been doing the Triggered podcast for weeks waiting for you to give me insider. The presidential edition.
Okay,
Okay, so
I've been doing the Triggered podcast now for a few weeks, and I figured with Father's Day coming up, we have a great
wait a minute. Fake fire. Hold on. Hold your ass. Wait.
Okay.
Triggered thing goes
So
by and it
I've been doing
Look,
the
it
Triggered
lights
podcast
the-
now for
it
a few
lights
weeks,
the
and I figured with Father's Day
fireplace
coming
on.
up,
We're so hot. I don't know how it didn't set my knees on fire. Look at that. I think it'd be really cool. Bro, John, get in here. Look what I did with the graphics, bro. Wait for it. Watch.
so
Okay.
I've been doing the Triggered podcast now for
Fine. Herp.
coming up. We have a great opportunity to sit with the most powerful father in the world.
The All-Father. And by that I mean me. More generic language. Can't believe you're my fucking son. What a piece of garbage. What happened? I marry all these babes and you guys come out looking like are you Giuliani's kid too?
I have some interesting questions for you. Now, we've
I doubt that.
had some good fun
First of all, what happened to my face?
in the podcast because it gets a little political, obviously, but we want to show
Turn the music off. Christ.
a little bit of humor. So I have a couple questions that I think are on all of the minds of our viewers.
Jesus.
So the first one, which is the
The first question that's totally on the mind.
one also on my mind is, which is your favorite
Oh God. Oh fucking. Oh, this is so sad. Look at the Chiron.
That's great psychology. Why don't you just say something bad about my mother?
Oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be so funny. I'm gonna ask you who your favorite kid is, and we all know it's Vanky because you never grab my boobs while you're trying to kiss me.
Trump child, and why is it Ivanka?
The wise guy over here.
Do I know you? Look at that. Don't hit me again.
All the same, 100%.
100%?
100%. And I'll even say you only for purposes of this interview. But other than that, all the same.
Okay, well, I'm going to
You're my favorite during the interview. I have a great sense of humor and such a connection with my children. Look at the face. Oh my God.
remember that, okay? So that's
Okay. Which one this got uncomfortable real friggin' fast.
okay. We got to talk Twitter because I have had a couple calls from you from the White House saying, Don, maybe you're getting a little hot on social media.
That's true.
Yeah, totally. I call it. Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
Do you understand irony and how that works?
I do.
It's ironic that you're my son because I'm the greatest looking person in the world. Your mom is a babe. Sorry about the wife comment. I know you left her for a Fox personality. I was going to do that, but then I won. I wasn't expecting it.
I think that you're getting a little hot on Twitter sometimes. It's really, I don't call it Twitter, I call it social media.
Oh, yeah. I call basically it's all one big soup of bleh. So I call Twitter the Sears catalog, and I call bathroom walls the Wall Street Journal, and I don't call it Twitter, I call it social media. Jesus. Thanks, Melinda. It's Twitter. You're talking specifically about okay, whatever.
And it's
Somebody needs another Adderall bump.
a way of getting out to the world, and you get out to the world too, on my behalf and on the country's behalf, because you want to see good things happen. And
To our bottom line, to you want our properties to finally not be in the red all the time, and you're hoping that we can get bailed out by Russians, Chinese, Saudis, anybody who will throw a reporter in a chipper shredder can write me a check right now.
Sometimes you'll say things that you probably regret. How often does that happen to you?
Well, it's an interesting question. There are probably times.
By the way, we just saw mics on top of this thing. They're using shotgun mics, and he's out of the cone of the mic he's under. Listen to his voice.
I regret it, but I've sort of learned, and I think we've probably seen in the last.
Sit up straight, you slouchy bastard. They set the mics. We saw them, and now you're off mic, and you're like, yeah, we're one of the things, Dad, that I noticed as a quality individual. Jesus.
Sometimes sort of taking it back rather than just owning it is actually worse. Sort of the apology for something that doesn't necessarily need an apology. Maybe it's a hot take, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong.
I have a lot of hot takes right now. Sometimes you have those. Sometimes, you type something in like, I wish I could eat a baby cheetah in front of a bunch of kids in a cancer ward, and people don't get that it's ironic that we just barbecue them at the house.
I mean, I think the one we saw last week was Drew Brees.
How do you have a beard and it makes your chin look smaller?
What do you
I think I should grow a beard.
think about him sort of cowering to the mob and that whole concept?
The mob. Well, the mob are very dangerous people, and if you don't let them do the laundry in your buildings, you'll end up with a horse head.
Mercy.
So I watched his first statement, which was a beautiful statement. Proud of
Beautiful, proud of him. Beautiful for what he said.
the flag, proud of the country, proud of everything. Talk about his father and his grandfather serving. And then the following day, it was almost like, I take it back. I was shocked because I consider him a great football player, but I consider him a champion and a star. And
in other words, things I never think about you, son.
didn't understand.
I love how they have a Chiron moment for everything he's saying. So, like, in case you wonder what the shit he's rambling on about, this is the topic.
What was going on, and he took it back, and I've never seen anything like it. And I think he
You've never seen anybody take back what they said because they felt it was either wrong or misinterpreted or both?
hurt himself very badly.
Never seen anybody say something and then realize it was wrong or out of bounds.
And I was going to put out that he'll regret that in the future years because you stand for the
The future years. It's hard to regret things in the past years. What?
flag. You have to stand for the flag and the anthem. Our national anthem, you have to stand. And I think the NFL is going to have a lot of problems if they don't. And I think the same thing with U.S. soccer. They said they're not going to have to stand. Well, if they don't stand, nobody's going to want to watch it. And I think they'll have a lot of problems. But I think the NFL will, that'll be a tremendous I was very surprised. I like Roger Goodell. I was very shocked that he made that statement. It didn't even look like there was any pressure on him. He made it out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to these black players. Do you? I mean, why would you? Apparently, I mean, I didn't see any of this garbage.
In
Nobody, all of a sudden people are like, people don't like what he's saying. Like, who? And they're like, lots and lots of black people and people who believe black people should be listened to and not vilified and derided for stances that they take. I'm like, what? When did that shit start?
summertime, what's he doing? Why is he doing that? So
Oh, if that's what it is, it's a seasonal thing. Never apologize in a season that ends in
I was just
Actually, that would be the perfect time to apologize. Autumn would be good too. Autumn, you know what? I shouldn't have said that. Summer, maybe, definitely not spring.
disappointed with Roger Goodell. I was very disappointed with Drew Brees because he was a warrior, and he
No, he's a football player.
just caved under the pressure. You know, a lot of warriors, they cave under PR pressure.
A lot of warriors cave under PR pressure. That's why Trump is better than a warrior.
Because his manager said, "Oh, this isn't right," and his teammates said,
That's what it was. Yep, that's what it was, a manager thing. Never have, like, remember that time your manager said, hey, maybe stop sexually assaulting people. It might affect the ratings next year's Celebrity Apprentice. And you're like, whatever.
This isn't right. And everybody said, and all of a sudden he's out there disclaiming about the flag and the country.
Disclaiming about the flag?
And he doesn't, I don't believe he believes his second statement
Well,
as
well,
much.
what's interesting is-
By the way, he may believe it, but what he should be doing is not talking about the second. He should have stuck with his first.
Well, what was interesting is he actually put that
Oh, wow. Stuck with his first. You mean like wives or? Oh no, I'm sorry, that's my bad.
disclaimer language the first time. He actually said, listen, I understand America's not perfect, but I
was
respect
fine.
it and my grandparents fought for
He
it.
should have fought through it.
So about 3 weeks ago, I found this sort of ironic.
I was asked a question that involved people wanting to know information, and that to me is ridiculous.
Documents that were taken in the Osama bin Laden raid, in the raid that killed Osama bin Laden with our friend
Bin Laden for Biden.
Rob O'Neill. They finally declassified them. And in there were paperwork from Osama bin Laden saying that he wanted to assassinate President Obama because it would put Joe Biden in charge, and essentially he's so grossly incompetent it would lead to the destruction of America. What does it say to you?
That you agree with Osama bin Laden, that basically you think exactly the same way that Osama bin Laden said. How is it to you that you make the exact same assumptions, mistakes, and jumps that Osama bin Laden, who is, by the way, dead, and was killed by Barack Obama, how does it feel to know that, like, I mean, he was taller than you, obviously, and he was on dialysis, which is in your future. So
Basically, the Democrat nominee for President of the United States got the posthumous Osama bin Laden endorsement, that this guy is the guy that they put forth.
It says to me, I didn't know that, and it says to me, we're going to immediately make a commercial out of that, if that's true. Is that true?
It's true. I saw this.
you have to ask your own son, is that true? Usually what Don Jr. says is complete bullshit. Is he messing with me? I barely know this kid.
I was watching, I had Rob O'Neill on this very podcast
Put that down on a thing. Let's make an ad.
because he's the guy.
By the way, say no more. It's a great commercial,
Well, you're welcome.
because it happens to be true. Okay? We
It
speak.
happens to be true that I and Osama bin Laden make the same assumptions, and
Truth.
and we're both gonna end up regretting
And
it.
that's your Father's Day present. Congratulations.
Under President Trump,
Whoa! Oh, they made an ad for it.
America has become safer and stronger. With endorsements, countless
Hey, good on you, man. I am not wearing a mask.
veterans and first responders. Joe
Thank you, Mr. President. By the way, can I have my pants back?
Biden received endorsement by Osama bin Laden after our brave warriors took him out, which Joe Biden was against doing.
What the reporting was accurate when I said I didn't say go, and I didn't.
Bin Laden wrote his plan to attack Obama to make Joe Biden president, thinking that would be enough of a U.S. disaster in and of itself, expressing Biden is totally unprepared for that post, which will lead the U.S. into crisis.
Yeah, that guy's dead.
Joe Biden, China's candidate, Iran's candidate, and Osama's candidate. We need a president who terrorists and
Tyrants
Tyrants
fear. Fear will what? Show up late for dinner?
I'm fighting for you, and I love doing it with everything that I have.
And you know that.
Wow. What kind of bottom of the barrel clips of him speaking are they using? Listen to this.
we need a president who terrorists and tyrants
Listen to his quotes.
fear.
I'm fighting for you, and I love doing it with everything that I have.
And you
They had to bail out on Have.
know that.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
They literally had to throw that in there just to make up for the fact that he'd only answer 4 of his own son's questions. hang out. Yeah, anytime now.
I was a good present.
That was a good present. I hate this. Look at that. Look at him looking right into the camera like, can you believe this idiot is my son? Pitiful. He knows I like hookers. He's supposed to get me a hooker. Look, the only presidents I'm interested in, the only presidents I'm interested in, the only president I'm interested in is me. But the only presidents I'm interested in is anything that could be written in a penthouse letter to the editor.
So, we've all been depicted on Saturday Night Live. You, me, Eric. Which one do you think is the most accurate depiction, and which one do you think is the least accurate depiction?
So as you know, I hosted Saturday Night Live.
It was amazing, by the way.
And
If you haven't watched that, you must go check it out.
Yeah. It was the William Hung of SNL hostings.
And was the topic for many years before I ever did the political thing. Many years it was a topic on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, you've been a joke for a very long time.
But I really don't watch it anymore.
Because it hurts me hurtsies.
I don't find it funny.
It's very hurtful, especially when they're quoting me directly.
Rarely do I find it funny, but I don't find it funny. I find it very mean-spirited. I find it a DNC affiliate.
A DNC affiliate. SNL on DNC. Is that is it? I mean, I know what they're going for in the thought process. Why don't you just use an equal sign? SNL equals DNC. Trump, SNL equals DNC. Or, you know what I mean? Like, what do you... SNL on DNC? Is DNC a drug? Like benzodiazepines?
DNC, right? And I think it's...
But thanks for straightening out DNC, what that is.
I just don't think it's a good show. I really don't. I don't see a lot of talent.
Like, that one awkward. It was supposed to be a cute, like, Pop, you gotta roll with it a little more. You can't be such a whiny.
I think that the person that portrays me is terribly untalented.
He's no joke.
Yeah, he's terribly untalented. Have you seen The Edge? Have you seen Glenn Ross? Have you seen Boss Baby? Alec, love you, man. You have the weirdest smile in the world, but I love you. And Billy, you're a good man.
Used to have
Daryl Hammond was good.
Daryl Hammond was great. They used to have Daryl Hammond, and he was great.
Do that thing. Go ahead.
You're fired.
And they had others too, but Daryl Hammond was great. No, it's not a good depiction in my opinion. But there's
Really?
nothing funny. It used to be a funny kind of a thing, and it's just there's just nothing going. They do it on PR. They do it on something. Maybe they do it on the fact that it's been there a long time.
They do it on PR. I mean, it just rides on public. You get a famous person to host it, and it's on their back is the idea. And never mind that that's been the actual format of the show since the 70s. You know, you remember the 70s when you were still too ugly to get the women you were with, and you skated on your dad's money to do it, and you were like the world's creepiest playboy.
When it was going to be taken off. I think if I didn't win or if I didn't run, I don't think it would be on the air anymore.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's not funny, but you're because of how they make fun of you. But the way they make fun of you is the only thing keeping it on the air. Huh? That's logic. Sure.
I don't say that.
I don't know what you're saying, Pop. Honest to God, I think it's. I mean, I've seen you say some dumb shit, but I don't like.
In a braggadocious way. I don't think it would be on the air anymore. Go ahead.
I don't say that in a braggadocious way. I just mean it's unfunny what they're doing, but that's what's keeping them on the air is how unfunny they are, because that's what people tune in for is how it's not funny.
If you don't,
but I don't watch it, but it's unfunny. But I haven't seen it. It's mean-spirited, and it's not funny, but I don't watch it.
Run for a third term.
He's doing a good interview.
When you're done in 5.
He's doing a good interview. I don't talk to my son. I talk around him. Jesus Christ. Who is he looking at? It's his son.
5 years. What do you want
Ivanka's off camera.
to do afterwards? What do you do after this?
I think what I'll do is just sit back, relax, and enjoy watching a great country. And hopefully we'll have somebody in that's going to keep it great. But this country is going to do so well. We did it once, and we're going to do it again, and we're doing it in very good style. We're doing it at a level that nobody thought possible. The job numbers came out last week, and they were through the roof.
Had to double check those numbers because that was absolutely not what we were expecting just
Yeah, because they turned out not to be true.
now, and the markets are reacting. Incredible.
And then they took a shit 5 days later because the real numbers came out.
It's a remarkable morning for the economy and for markets as the jobs number, of course, comes in much better than expected. A gain
Yeah, so why is it not still at that number? That's weird.
of 2.5 million, a gain of 2.5 million.
The fact is that we're back.
It's going to continue. And
Why didn't you play the clip from 3 days later? Why didn't you?
hopefully we're going to have a tremendous victory. We're going to have a safe country. We're going to have a country based on lots of good things, fairness, equality, and also law and order. And we're doing really very well. I hope you sit back and you're going to be proud of what's happened because you've really helped me a lot. And I say that
That's the only good thing you've ever said in my vicinity.
truthfully. The
Pop.
family's been great. Kimberly's been great. I've had so much support from the family, but we're going to have a tremendous success.
You can't call him by his name, but you can call his wife by. All right.
I did it once.
This is so creepy.
We had the greatest numbers we've ever had. African American employment, if you look at that, employment and unemployment. But if you look at Asian, if you look at Hispanic, if you look at women, if you look at any group, young.
Thanks, Patricia. Appreciate it. Punch in the air. Thank you for the pear sticker on YouTube.
People without a diploma,
But hey, Richard.
people with diplomas, everything, every single group, they were doing better than they've ever done. And then one day, the Chinese plague came over.
The Chinese plague. You like it when I call it that.
And I had to close the country. And we saved millions of lives
He's looking at him like he's a stranger. It's super weird.
by doing that. Don't let anyone ever tell you different. We saved millions of lives. Potentially,
Yes, we're back to if I didn't do anything, half you assholes would be dead.
I don't even want to tell you what the numbers that I've heard. But at a
Yes, this is a Trump campaign YouTube interview show. They normally do it as a podcast, and they're doing it as a video interview. I guess because nobody else wants to give Trump the edits he wants, except Fox, and you can't just keep hitting it.
minimum, it would be 1 million to 1.5 million, as
If you did nothing.
opposed to 150, 175 when it dies out.
Whoa. So we're already up at 150, 175,000 dead. Classy.
It is dying out. The numbers are starting.
So dying out. It is. In the big cities, they're getting a handle on it. Not so much in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where the disease comes sweeping down the plain.
Very good. But I think that we will do it very rapidly a second time, much more rapidly.
Because it was shut off because of a disease. We understand that as people. That has nothing to do with it. People, if they could go back tomorrow, if there was a vaccine tomorrow, everybody would just go back to work. No problem with that whatsoever. The problem is you don't have one. You don't have treatments. It's still spreading. You're acting like it's over. And the reopening is causing more cases. You're an idiot.
One of the reasons that
But go ahead and tell us how 175,000, we should just be happy with that number.
we're doing so well is we
How many did South Korea have dead? What? 285? 300?
built a tremendous base. We had a
Not 1,000. Period.
great foundation. So when we said, let's go, open, and we're having a lot of resistance from Democrats that are
Seems
keeping
only-
That don't want people to die.
their
From the
states
blue
closed. They're keeping their states closed. They let Seattle be taken over. Think of it. Seattle, a great city, a big chunk
You wouldn't go anywhere near. And secondly, it's not taken over.
of Seattle taken over, and the news doesn't want to
They're playing dodgeball. There's a bunch of busking date rapists hanging out there. I'm surprised you're not there, Don.
write about it. You rarely see, or you certainly see very little about it in the lamestream media.
The lamestream media. Oh, that was the first like family word he said around him.
So I will tell you that we are going to have a country that's going to be back so fast, and it's already happened.
Well, I've always said that.
Oh, it's already happened, guys. It's back. We're back. There's a vaccine. It's already done. I don't know what the.
If Joe Biden had the answers to these problems, why didn't he do it in the first 50 years of his career?
Well, he had a long time to do.
Because he was in the Congress and then in the Senate, and he was vice president. And vice president doesn't write executive orders, for example, but he fought for a lot of these things. He shepherded the ACA through. I mean, do we need to go through all the policies? I mean, we can.
A lot of things, and he didn't, and he's certainly not in condition.
Why while Joe Biden was a public defender for low-income defendants in Pennsylvania, at the exact same time that you and your father were being charged by the Justice Department for denying black people rent, the ability to rent your buildings.
To do it now, he is not equipped to do it. He's not equipped.
Rejecting?
I don't want to go further than that. When you say, give me a definition of equipped, I'm not going to give you that definition, but.
Because I can't, because I'm not equipped.
I think everybody else knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about very well. He's in
No, he doesn't really.
no condition to do it, and everybody knows it, and he's China's dream.
Yeah.
What you told me about Osama bin Laden, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Because that's an incredible statement, but that's true with China, that's true with everybody. Iran, that's true.
Really? So you had China wrapped around your finger? That's why they had you sign phase one of a deal where they were going to buy $50 billion worth of stuff, but the taxpayers ultimately paid $68 billion for the exact same stuff just to ease the burden on the farmers because of the tariffs. And China's retaliation was to drop a bioweapon on us, which is what you've been saying in interviews. You said it in the Wall Street Journal today. So, yeah, I'm sorry, guys, anybody in the chat know at what point during the Obama administration China hit us with a bioweapon, and the Obama administration and Biden in particular spent 6 weeks apologizing for it to them?
North Korea, look what I've done. North Korea, we would be in a war. We would have been in a war if Hillary got in.
Why? Based on what? And all they've done is sucker you into letting them test more missiles.
And now we're talking, we talk, and that's fine.
Talking back about the economy, 9 out
That was a nice edit.
of 10 of the largest cities in this country are run by Democrats who are appointing their leaders, who are making decisions, and yet the media still wants to try to blame you for their failures. How is that possible? How do they get away with it? And what would your message be to those people who live in those cities, who have been ruled by Democrats in some cases for over 100 years?
100 years. Same Democrats, 100 years. Has anybody explained Dixiecrats and the Republican Party to young Don here?
Trying to throw the blame elsewhere.
100 years.
The cities that are having trouble are Democratic-run cities, meaning Democrats.
Yes.
Oh, I see. You mean, oh.
And you know, the word is the Democrat Party. It doesn't sound as pretty, but but the Democrat-run cities are the ones that are having the trouble. It's a very simple thing.
They also have the largest economies, in some cases even in the world. I mean, each one of these cities that you're talking about has an economy, a functioning economy larger than a good deal of nations on the earth.
You look at Seattle, you look at when you go to Minnesota and you take a look at what's taking place there.
What, Minneapolis, normally, when a cop hasn't knelt on somebody's neck, it's a pretty cool place. I was at Paisley Park right after Prince died. It's a beautiful city.
It's incredible. They tried to take over a great city, Minneapolis. And they have
GY.
taken it. I took it over until I said you have to bring in the National Guard. When the National Guard went in, it was like so beautiful. One evening, all of a sudden, you saw them lining
Yikes.
up. And
Look
it
at the
was
footage. Look at this. Oh my God. They're going to accidentally throw a shot from North Korea, aren't they?
all over. So it's a very sad thing, but I happen to think it's
Thanks, Philly Dana.
explaining to people that are getting ready to vote on November 3rd that there's only one answer, and you cannot
Joe Biden.
go back to the bed.
To an economy that grew from 6,400 in the stock market to 19,600, that took a situation where more Americans were on food stamps than had been on since the 60s, took them off that over the course of 3 years, and turned the Great Recession, kept the Great Recession from becoming a Great Depression. What'd you do when you came in? What was the wreckage?
That would, because you would have this whole country. The country, I don't believe, would ever recover from it.
Yeah, you'd be, I mean, gay people were getting married, black people were getting ahead, and they weren't begging.
A situation like Seattle times 1,000. The country
We don't have that many cities that big.
it will never survive it.
Well, it sort of feels like this election really is, it's the last hurrah of the swamp of the establishment. How do you combat that? How do you get people to understand that message? Because when I look at your accomplishments,
and I don't mean me,
they're incredible.
They're just, I mean, look at Ivanka's nose. It didn't start that way.
Delivered for America for the first time in modern political history, done the things you said you were going to do. At the same time, what people I don't think give you credit for is that you did that under unprecedented circumstances, under unprecedented resistance. You had nonsense impeachment.
You're kidding me, right? Ask Mitch McConnell about what their plan for Obama was the night of the inauguration.
You had 3 years of Russia hoaxes.
Really? Was there? I just saw the Russia investigation. Was there another one that somebody said that Chernobyl never happened? Or oh, you think that was a hoax? I see. The one he was, yeah. You could just release all the Mueller grand jury testimony and clear all this up.
You had everything working against you, and you were still able to do it. Do you think that this election sets a different tone that would actually maybe get, I don't know, say the Democrats to actually work with you on things?
So I think if we win, the answer is yes. But I think regardless, we're going to have a tremendously successful country. I think that our
I don't even need anyone's help to do it. I'll just...
country is going to be stronger than ever before. I think that
the best is yet to come. Look, and an exclamation point. This is way better than SNL on DNC.
next year is going to be a tremendous success. I feel that if the Democrats get in, we are literally going to end up in a recession/depression.
Why?
The likes of which you've never seen.
You mean like when Bush left office, you mean? You mean the one that Obama fixed, especially with things like the bailout for the auto industry, which you were against?
There will be tremendous negative growth.
Oh, God.
There will be tremendous bedlam all over the place.
Bedlam.
There won't be law and order. You'll have a Seattle. You'll have a Minneapolis like you've never seen before. The whole country will be Minneapolis.
Oh, what a horrible thing. Can you imagine that? How many Paisley Parks can there be? I mean, can we have a Prince Museum in every city? I mean, this is actually starting to sound good. I mean, as long as it's not Fargo.
And we saved it by me enforcing and sending the troops in, the National Guard. I insisted on it.
I insisted on it. Thanks, Bean Toes. Hi. It's not too late here.
But that was it.
It's only 9:15.
After 4 days, they should have done it on night number one instead of having the police run down the street, run away, give up the precinct. Nobody's ever seen a thing like that.
They should have just shot people who were rioting about a man who had been murdered in the street for 8 minutes.
So I think that
So I think the most important thing is that we turn this into a police state as soon as possible. And the threat of violence is the only thing that can keep the American people in line, because if you don't threaten them with troops all the time, you'll see. This is, I mean,
I think we're going to have a tremendous
4 more years. Jesus. Thanks, Vito.
success. I think, well, actually, I think by that time the Democrats are just going to say, let's work with the president.
Well, it's interesting.
Really? What's with the Carl from Caddyshack face, too?
So if we're talking about Democrats,
Beauty. It's no big deal.
what would you say to the Bernie Sanders supporter, the guy that
Gunga. Gunga, galunga. Gunga, gunga, galunga.
feels that Bernie got, gypped?
Yeah, this is it. This is their begging for this. This is their desperate plea. Please turn on Biden the way you turned on Hillary. Please support. This is the Biden supporters, if you're listening. I hope you can find the black hole in your heart that will allow me to keep people seeking asylum in cages and disappear over 800 children, because you did not get, because you're going to get single payer and not Medicare for all, except you are on the same time scale that you thought it would take by your own, I don't know.
In his race, I mean, would you have an outreach to them to bring them over to our side?
We're never going to be a socialist country. No, not that one, Dad. Don't say that one.
Because it seems like uncertain.
They're going to be a little edgy about that.
Whether it be trade, that there's actually some similarity in those policies.
So last time I got a lot of Bernie Sanders voters, as you know.
Uh-huh. There it is. Last time, I got a lot of Bernie Sanders voters, as you know.
A very good percentage. People were shocked.
A very good percentage. No, I would say a very bad percentage. The people who are in that percentage, very bad people. And if they're going to vote for you again this time, they were always going to vote for you, and they were pretending to be Bernie Sanders supporters. They were just trolls messing with Hillary. And if they weren't, they were really Bernie Sanders supporters and were like, it doesn't matter, flip a coin, I'm going to vote for him just to show her because I feel cheated, and they're going to do it again, they're frigging monsters.
Mostly because of trade, because one thing Bernie
Mostly because of trade.
was right on was trade. He said that everybody in this country is being hurt badly by our trade deals. They're so bad. And I get a lot of support from Bernie Sanders. I think I'm going to have it.
Yeah, I was like, Jamal Khashoggi, for example, a lot of them wanted him in the wood chipper, didn't want anybody bothered like this. They wanted dead Kurds all over the Syrian border. There's a lot that we do well. They wanted the largest bailout in the history of the country, with the same price tag as the Iraq and Afghanistan war. They wanted that. They wanted it dumped on the country in 6 weeks with no oversight. They love IGs being fired. They love the idea of replacing Ruth Bader Ginsburg with Judge Jeanine. There's a lot about the Bernie Sanders voters that really,
And
Jesus
this time,
Christ.
if you look at what's happened,
we have been.
and they talk about the popular vote, which would be much easier for me. I'd campaign a whole different way.
Yeah, well, we might want to start. And look at this look on his face. Not the way I wanted you to go, Pop.
But they talk Jill Stein. Hillary lost some votes to Jill Stein, let's assume. But I lost far more votes to Gary Johnson running on the Libertarian Party.
Right.
They got 4 or 5%. Had I gotten those votes, I win the popular vote. But I never won.
Yeah, I thought it was all immigrants who were lying and voted for her. Now we've moved on. It's the Gary Johnson vote you lost? Really?
For the popular vote.
You think the Gary Johnson voters are coming around?
I only
Jesus.
went for the Electoral College. We have tremendous support in this country for what we're doing. And it'll go on, and it'll be more and more successful. I'm telling you, next year, will be one of the most successful years in the history of our country.
One of the most successful years?
It's great, and I agree, because those policies...
Yeah, Dad, that's totally true. You're winning the popular vote right here. I mean, me, Eric, you're splitting the vote right there. You know, we're not a win. The family is not a winner-take-all family.
So, to finish up, two last questions I have for you. I've heard from some of our mutual friends that you don't love my beard, but given the quarantine, I'd like to know, between myself, Ted Cruz, and Rand Paul, who have all grown sort of quarantine beards, who's his best and why?
See how funny I am? This is so like, he's a person, you know what I mean? Dad, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you these like cute questions, and you're going to show everybody just how down you are, and you're also going to, because I'm your son, side with me on the Father's Day special, and everybody's going to love it. Dad, they're going to love it. They're going to love it.
Well, I don't like it on you.
He really means it. He wants to smack his kid for having a beard right now.
I've told you that.
You did. It was awful.
And I think that's fine if you want to do it. I'm a libertarian in that way. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, that's me going. See that? I should get the Gary Johnson vote just because I let my son grow a beard if he wants to when he's an adult.
But I don't like it on you.
And I don't like you is really the problem. I hate it almost as much as I hate your face.
I think that Rand...
Jesus, dude. Just make a cute answer. Look at this. Just go, son, it looks terrible. You have a beautiful face. Don't hide it behind that weird scruff. I don't care what Ted does with his face, except when he gives me a rusty trombone.
And Ted looked better without it.
Jesus. Beard or no beard?
That is the question.
Friends of mine, they're both doing a fantastic job.
Fantastic job, except in the beard department.
Defending me all over the place. Huh? Good-looking guys. I think they both look better personally without it. But I also think that they should do what they want to do. And
Jesus Christ. It's not a serious question, you ass. This is so embarrassing. Why go Rand? Jesus. This is the Father's Day episode, and he can't just say, like, I'm not a beard guy, like, you know, I like clean shaven. You know, Jeffrey Epstein once told me that if you want...
That's what they'll do.
Jeffrey Epstein would never have a beard, I'm just saying.
And in some cases, I think it's good, but...
Jeffrey Epstein's beard did not shave itself.
In your cases, get rid of it.
Look at that.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to get the follow-up call on this one.
Look at that. Look. Jesus Christ. Look at this. Just God awful. Look at that. Watch this. He's trying to be cute in the end.
I also think that they should do what they want to do, and that's what they'll do. And in some cases, I think it's good, but in your cases, get rid of it.
See what I did there? Mm-hmm.
Why is he checking with them? Who's he checking with? Who the shit is just off camera, and why can't he look at his own son when he makes that joke? This is messed up.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to get the follow-up call on this one later on. But so last question.
Ew. He's going to get yelled at by his dad for this stupid frigging question. Don't worry. I'm going to get the follow-up call on this one. He's going to scream at me like he does. You know, Jesus. No wonder I want to fly thousands of miles and shoot rhinos for no reason.
Before you leave office, will you let us know if there's aliens? Because this is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
I know, it sounds almost...
Yeah, and none of them are my son. So if I'm not going to tell them, I'm not going to tell you because
ridiculous, but it's actually the real question I want to know.
It sounds like a cute question, but it's actually, there are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify?
No.
You'll take it?
Well, I'll have to think about that one, right?
Who are you looking at? It's your son. He works with you all the time. He runs the campaign.
All right, so a couple of weeks ago, I found myself to be the subject of a pretty big meme that went around because I asked and made a joke on a radio show about you possibly pardoning the Tiger King. Have you familiarized yourself with the situation, and is there a possibility for a pardon?
Well, based on my relationship with you, I have. He is quite a character.
He's certainly.
Based on my relationship with you, I have looked at the Tiger King. You mean your son asks you to look at a television show and you'll do it?
He's quite a character, but you wouldn't want me to say that. But
what?
That's a whole strange deal going on, I'll tell you. That's a strange guy and a lot of strange people surrounding him. And it was interesting. I got to...
Looks very familiar. You know, if you think about it, I'm really the Tiger King of the White House in a lot of ways, except he's got a better singing voice and he's in better shape and his hair's real.
See a couple of those episodes. It's interesting.
Yeah, it was funny because I was watching, obviously.
Edit.
Sort of binge watch it because of the quarantine.
Because, because we can't do anything and no one wants to meet me.
And then when they asked you that thing and you're just on there at the press briefing at the COVID thing, and of course, they don't ask you real questions, they asked you the nonsense, but it was...
They ask you dozens of them, but when you started answering real questions, you were suggesting people inject bleach into their chest, you asshole.
Pretty funny when it was, that sounds like Don.
It must be Don. I had a feeling it was Don. Is that what he said?
Yipe, look, what is this? Don't cut to his face being that orange.
Had to be Don, and I was like, yeah, I think he understands me well.
I think I do understand you well.
You're
doing a great job.
Thank you, Dad, and you are too. Thank you for doing this, and I really hope you have a great Father's Day as well.
Good, thank you very much.
It's a complete stranger. Complete stranger. Am I off on this, or this looks like somebody being interviewed by someone they have never met?
Okay. Good. Okay. You could stay behind and just ask a couple of the questions without me here if you wanted to. I see that's something a lot of the big anchors do. They'll say thank you very much, and then they'll sit in the chair and they'll re-ask a couple of questions. But I think you did a good job.
Jesus Christ. Who's he talking? It's your son. Talk to him to his face. What the hell?
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you. He hits him with a folder as he's leaving. Look at this. Wait.
But I think you did a good job.
Hey, good to see you.
Just blew him off. Did you see that? Christ. Of course the fire is fake. So is all the... it's the only source of warmth in the room is a fake fire. Look at that. And they didn't even bother to put the fire effect behind the screen. See that? It's burning right through the screen. Uh-oh, here we go. Trump chocolates. Meme Trump special presentation. They spent so much time making that they're going to use it twice. Thank you for watching, or whatever you thought. And then just a big text, keep America great. How long does this shit go on? Good God. Just minutes of nonsense. Holy hell. Ridiculous. Just couldn't give less of a shit. Okay, we'll do a few minutes of this and then I'm going to let everybody go. Because this is pretty funny. This is him on the phone with Hannity. Hannity is T-balling this up for him.
Other incidents, they didn't have any reforms.
Oh, he talks about...
And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you very much.
Let me pick up what
Can you
was just
stop?
discussed.
Can you stop using this weird semi-serious picture that looks like I'm using a lip plumper and a highlighter to fix my hair?
With Lindsey Graham, and that is Ferguson happened under President Obama, Vice President Joe Biden. Same with Baltimore, Cambridge, all these other incidents. They didn't have any reforms.
They didn't? They didn't. Put a pin in that.
Criminal justice reform happened with you.
Uh-huh.
Historically, black colleges funded more money for a longer period of time. That was you.
Yeah, direct funding, but the trios and the all the other like Pell Grant related stuff, you cut those. So you give with one hand in public and take with two in private, right?
As well. And if I look at some of the other opportunity zones,
Opportunity zones, which sound a lot like enterprise zones, and also sounds like Obama's promise zones. Obama tries to end the cycle of broken poverty promises, July 2015. These were promise zone locations. There you go. I knew that all this stuff sounded familiar. In selecting first set of promise zones, President Obama elevated expectations by comparing the effort to the Harlem Children's Zone, the renowned nonprofit that combines high-quality education with wraparound services for children, families in a 97-block area of central Harlem. The model is extensive. Residents have access to nutrition counseling, exercise classes, parenting classes, pre-kindergarten programs, charter schools, community centers, and tax preparation assistance. It is also well-funded. So far, the Harlem Children's Zone has attracted more than $100 million in private philanthropic investment. Promise Zones is the White House's effort to replicate the Harlem approach in other targeted areas. So the Obama administration decided that they were going to, in Sacramento, LA, Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, Minneapolis, St. Louis, Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, San Antonio, the low country of South Carolina, southeastern Kentucky, where all those rednecks that hate Obama for coming from Kenya and, Mitch McConnell was running interference for, where they all live, Indianapolis, Philadelphia, Hartford, Connecticut, Camden, New Jersey, those places initially. And what was included in the Obama Promise Zones was access to nutrition counseling, exercise classes, parenting classes, pre-kindergarten programs, charter schools, community centers, and tax preparation assistance. Does anybody want to guess what the opportunity zones that Trump put together are? You know what those do? They give you a tax break if you want to invest in these areas. If you don't, you get your tax break someplace else. There's other things to get tax breaks with. You can always invest. There's other charities available if you want to invest in those areas. By the way, if you make money off your investment, you get to keep that money. If you lose money on your investment, you can write it off as a tax write-off. So, how is this anybody doing any extra work? Anywhere? Anybody? Okay. Obama Promise Zones. And by the way, let's see. Where was this? Oh, here we go. December 15th, 2017. Justice Department ends program scrutinizing local police forces. An arm of the Justice Department said Friday it would roll back, wait for it, Obama-era efforts to investigate local police departments and issue public reports about their failings, another way in which the Trump administration is trying to adopt a tough pro-police stance. The changes were announced by the Department's Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services, or COPS, which is halting 3 years ago, halting a years-long effort begun in the previous administration to investigate and publicize the shortcomings of police departments. Within the Justice Department, the Civil Rights Division has for decades conducted pattern or practice probes of troubled police departments to determine whether there are systemic problems that require a court-appointed monitor to correct. In recent years, however, the COPS office had gradually expanded to do something similar, issuing public reports about problems if it found that in individual departments. On Friday, the Justice Department signaled that it will leave such work to the Civil Rights Division and that the COPS office would return to its roots, advising police departments on best practices, offering training, and becoming more collaborative. Attorney General Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions called the move a course correction to ensure that resources go to agencies that require assistance rather than expensive, wide-ranging investigative assessments that go beyond the scope of technological assistance and support. So all we want is they want to make sure they get plenty of batons and guns and bombs and smoke and pepper
bullets and all that stuff, and leave all the hugs and the kisses and the flowers in the barrels stuff to the hippie folk. Just try to mention that. Oh, P.S. There we go. Communities have to start showing more that they do. Let's remember when Bill Barr said this. Communities have to start showing more than they do the respect and support that law enforcement deserves. And if communities don't give that support and respect, they might find themselves without the police protection they need. Pattern or practice cases, which are separate from individual incidents of alleged wrongdoing involving officers, were a significant pillar of the Obama administration. The Justice Department's Civil Rights Division during those years opened 25 investigations into local law enforcement agencies across the country and enforced 14 court-approved consent decrees mandating reforms. A Washington Post review in 2015 of such interventions found that they led to modernized policies, equipment, and training, but produced mixed results on the use of force. Civil rights leaders say they are a necessary tool, and one that Trump's Justice Department has essentially abandoned. But tell me again how they didn't make any changes.
That's also, and you're always under attack, but then you came out with these reforms. Let's talk about police reforms you announced yesterday.
Well, we did, and if you look at the previous administration, and frankly many administrations, they did nothing on this, and we did.
They did nothing. They did nothing on this. Did they? They did nothing on this. Did they do nothing on this? Justice Department ends program scrutinizing local police. There you go. Let's see, where, oh, that's the HBCUs. We'll get that in a minute.
Criminal justice reform. We did tremendous opportunity. If you look at the opportunities we've given everybody, but the opportunity zones have been incredible.
They're incredible, the opportunity zones. They don't do anything. They just let you invest in a place basically tax-free, and if you lose your money, the taxpayer picks it up, and if you make money, you get to keep it.
It's been one of the great things in terms of investment in areas and in terms of unemployment. It's been incredible. Before the Chinese plague came to us,
oh God, I can't do the rest of this tonight. It's too late, and I don't need to hear about Chinese plague again. But I did want to bring that up in case anybody throws that in your face. Anytime somebody starts bringing up opportunity zones, bring up the Obama promise zones and what was the economic program that the Clinton administration had? I'm blitzing on the name right now. It was another zone-based thing. But specific to this one, by the way, were 2 native-based ones and a bunch of like hardcore Appalachia redneck areas. So, just saying. Yeah, enterprise zones. Thank you, Amy K. Appreciate that. So anybody who brings up this bullshit about opportunity zones, which is, by the way, has this like, we want equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome, which is a generic concept that somehow by saying it, they allow you to assume that other people are against it. That's one of the tactics of the Trump crowd. But this actually did something. As did, by the way, the Obama-era police reforms that they had, the COPS program, and which was had all its teeth pulled out by Jeff Sessions. Hey, thanks, Fly Night Slasher. Hi, how are you? I'm glad. I hope you're streaming Lab Rats on Disney Plus right now. Just saying, it's a good thing, and appreciate that. And so and then these Justice Department gutting these things 3 years ago. The cupboards were bare. Nobody did anything until we did something. Is the most egregious, ridiculous, and repetitive lie of all these things. So, I appreciate you guys jumping in with me. I know it's a late night thing. I wanted to pick up this show and go through it because I thought it would be entertaining, funny, ridiculous, and silly, and it was. And I appreciate you guys jumping in here and you know, going off the normal schedule with me. Hope that was okay. And I will see you guys tomorrow at the regular time, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock Pacific. Also, Saturday, the regular show, 9 to 11 a.m.
and then we might do a little post thing on Saturday, depending. But I'm going to a thing where I get to my son and I are going to ninja camp together. So so you guys usually up till 3, but my daughter tired me out today. Well, that's cool, Richard. That sounds like a great way to be worn out, running around and playing and hanging and doing stuff, and that's great. So I'm glad you guys could join me. Oh, hey, victory shouts in New Zealand. Congratulations on your country being completely clean of COVID. I'm very impressed. V. Gabriel, absolutely. Thank you. And thanks. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up to the show. Spread the show around. Invite people. Also, and thank you, Christina F., for the super chats, you guys. I greatly appreciate it, and all the stickers and that stuff. Like, just, it's heartwarming and lovely and wonderful. And like I said, and we'll have a kitten update on Saturday as well in the post show. So I'm gonna go tuck my kid in, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Yes, stay healthy. And hold on. Oh, that's awesome. You guys, right in at the end. Now you guys make me stick around and because I don't want to miss any of them. Thanks. Can't Stop Lying. Big hug, brother. I will talk to you guys. Have a lovely night, and we will see you tomorrow.
That was really cool, by the way.
I never thought anybody could forget so much so fast without a severe blow to the head.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen. Once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
Did you hear that? Yeah. It's a dickfer. What's a dickfer? To pee with.
See this? This is my boomstick! Who wants some? Who's next?
That was really cool, by the way.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. Butthole! And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Man's got to know his limitations.
I gotta barbecue your assy molasses!
I love lamb.
I guess I do like black people. It just took a white one to prove it to me.
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. Jack left town.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
He thinks I made it up.
Unbelievable.
A chat with you and somehow death loses its sting.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
I never thought anybody could forget so much so fast without a severe blow to the head.
Just looking around here, I can tell you're a genuinely dirty person.
Once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused. We got it aroused.